Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video on another breezy, chilly day in Newcastle. It is Friday, looking forward to the weekend. Although there is no Newcastle match this weekend, there is still plenty to talk about in the world of Newcastle United. What did I say in yesterday's video? That this window's been a little bit quiet so far? Well, in the last 24, 48 hours, I feel like it's blown up. Kieran being linked to join Bayern Munich. Contract disputes for Joe Linton could see him leave the club sooner rather than later. Captain Lascelles could be set to leave this window, and Manquillo is on his way to join Rafa Benitez. And according to the Telegraph this morning, Newcastle have a new midfielder they are targeting this January window. All of this off the back of what Darren Eales had to say about FFP and basically having to look at selling players before we can buy. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos this January window. Hopefully there'll be more videos about players coming in than players leaving, but we will wait and see. As I mentioned, we all saw, or a lot of us will have saw, the Darren Eales interview where he came out, spoke about FFP, spoke about Newcastle probably having to look at selling players to bring players in, FFP being basically in the way of Newcastle. And I spoke about this yesterday. There's some real points of FFP that are under my skin, to be honest. The idea of having to sell homegrown players because you get a better benefit, it's nuts. You should be paid to keep the homegrown players. We won't go through all that again in this video, but at the time I thought it was honest of Darren Eales to come out and talk about this stuff to let the fans know what's going on. I thought it was also kind of clever of Darren Eales as well, because the questions aren't Eddie Howe asking, why haven't we bought anyone yet? Now all of the questions are about that FFP. You know what I mean? He's turned it around. He's kind of changed the look of how maybe fans are looking at the club right now. It's not an annoyance at Eddie Howe and the owners and Darren Eales because they're not spending. It's now annoyance at the Premier League and then annoyance at FFP. So he's spun it quite well. So he's kind of given the fans a bit of background. He's also done a bit of a way to kind of maybe get the fans off it. Or even the media. I wouldn't even say it's the fans. I would say the media off Eddie Howe. He's spun it now. So all the questions are about FFP. But what has he also done is put a bit of a, whether he meant to or not, a bit of a, not come and get me, but get in touch, inquiries, he's basically let a lot of teams know that Newcastle are potentially looking to sell players. And what does that do? A lot of teams around the world are suddenly going, get that Newcastle squad list out. Let's have a quick peek at what's going on there. As I mentioned, Manquillo has already been spotted over in Spain. Looks like he's joined up with Rafa Benitez. Big Rafa fan here. Big Manquillo fan at times. I remember being in the away end at Manchester United when he scored against them on Ronaldo's debut. Was good at the time. Doesn't get any game time now. It looks like he's leaving on a free. Would have been nice if he'd left for $1 million or $1.5 million. Times 5 for FFP. Could that have been our loan fee for Calvin Phillips? Maybe, who, by the way, is being linked to West Ham this morning. Apparently, West Ham have entered talks. It's not going away. We don't know what's happening with Calvin Phillips. I would not be surprised if Mandy's turned around and gone, look, Pep, you're getting $4 million loan fee. Give us a ring on the last day of this window if you've had nobody else offer anything out. I can see that happening. I think we've probably put our, stick in the ground or whatever and said, look, this is as far as we're going. That's our line. If you want to sell them to us before the end of the window, you cross over onto our side. We're not going to play with all these games. So I don't think it's not definitely on or definitely off. But what looks to be on is the Manquillo. Rafa Benitez has said that it's not done yet, but he hopes it'll be done soon. The one we spoke about yesterday was Jamal Lascelles having been linked with Besiktas. Jamal Lascelles, whose contract ends this summer window, and it's been quite a 50-50 response as to whether it's a cash in now. You know what it is? He could potentially leave in the summer for nothing. If he did sign a deal, he probably wouldn't sell him. This is the last chance. for a lot of players, you know, a big list, you know, got about 5, 6, 7, 8 players who are out of contract this summer window, and you imagine a lot of them will probably walk, the likes of a Dummett. We'll see what happens with a Richie. Hopefully he's given a job as a coach or something, that he's not taking up a squad if Eddie Howe really wants to keep him around. You know, give him any job. You know, I was going to say get him to do the water or anything. Just pay him what you want, you know. But to take up a spot in the squad, Lascelles is a bit different. I've seen people say, you sell him, get him out, get that 5 million that equals to 25 million. But for me, it's about what do we do this window. You know, Lascelles has played a lot of game time. Do we take the risk? You know, we've got Botmans who's coming back, Shaw's in, Byrne is there and thereabouts. Can we get away with 3 centre-backs till the end of the season? It means we've cashed in on Lascelles, we've freed up a squad space. Or do you look at it and go, you know what, Robbie's played one of the best seasons he's had, and if we want, you know, probably, what do you want, 5 centre-backs in a squad? You know, we bring another one in the summer window, Lascelles can be number 5, and he can continue to probably be the not highest paid player we've really got. I reckon Lascelles, you know, he's been on a 7-year deal. I don't think he's really had any bumper deals made since he got it. Lascelles is one to be listened to. Joe Linton, this one took me by surprise, to be honest. Mixed reports coming out from Daily Mail, Luke Edwards at the Telegraph, both effectively saying the same thing but with a different slant on how you want to look at it. Daily Mail effectively reporting that Joe Linton is putting his stick in the ground, if that is even a saying. He is putting his line in the sand and saying, look, I want an increased deal. If you don't give it to me, then I'm not going to sign it. And with 18 months left on his contract, could Newcastle look to move Joe Linton on for potentially a decent sum of money rather than let the contract wind all the way down and get nothing for him? Now, I don't think this would happen in January regardless. I think this would be a summer discussion. And I'm surprised, you know, Joe Linton seems to be having the time of his life. Him and Bruno are playing up the bromance. They've got their retro Adidas tops on the other day, absolutely loving it. Some reports saying that Joe Linton wants to go on and be one of the highest paid players in the club. You know, you have to take some of this with a pinch of salt. But if I'm Joe Linton, I'm looking around and going, there's Bruno over there, there's Isak over there. You know, a fair play, fair dues. Botman, I think he should be owed a decent wedge in comparison to a lot of the squad members. But to be asking to be on the top wage, I don't know, maybe that just shows his ambition. And, you know, he holds himself in high regard, which I cannot dispute whatsoever. But hopefully there's a middle ground to find here. And you know what, Joe Linton has got time left on his deal. And, you know, businessman, you know, just to be turn around and go, well, look, you know, give me the money I want or I will walk. And then that's putting the pressure on Newcastle. I mean, these contract discussions will go on, and I believe he'll sign a new deal. I think there's still definitely something left in the tank for Joe Linton, but it comes back to Darren Eales and letting players go. And you know, it wasn't necessarily a name that people were talking a huge amount, but if it comes to it and someone does have to go, it's horrible talking about it, really, because, again, it's fan favourite. I love Joe Linton. He's a massive part of this team, a massive part of the squad, massive part of the morale. He's our absolute battering ram in the middle. He's a tough player to replace, you know, injured now for the rest of the season as well. And I think it'll be a struggle without him. So, yeah, we're waiting here on Joe Linton. But the big one coming out this morning is that Bayern Munich are coming in for Kieran Trippier. I mean, my God, that interview from Darren Eales has definitely started a bit of a fire in a few of these clubs coming over and looking at Newcastle United. 33-year-old Kieran Trippier, you have to say, has been incredible for Newcastle. I don't know what Bayern Munich are doing. I think they're getting the band back together. We've seen Kieran, we've seen Kane go over there, Dyer go over there, and now Trippier's being linked. And look, I'm not surprised. Who doesn't want Kieran Trippier? I think some of the most creative crosses in the Premier League, even at 33 years old, even at a Newcastle side who are, you know, around mid-table right now, has done a spectacular job. But I can't see it. I think he's so integral to this club. I just can't see a reason why Newcastle would want to move him on. Let's not forget as well that the reason Trippier joined Newcastle in the first place was because he wanted to be closer to home with his family. You know, why would he now go to Germany? There are reports coming out. I think it was Sky Sports or was it the Daily Mail? The Sky Sports are reporting it. Daily Mail have said there has been no concrete contact between the two clubs yet, but the Bayern Munich are very interested. I even saw that it's being rumoured as a loan move. I mean, no, no way is that happening. The way Kieran Trippier leaves is Bayern Munich turn around and offer us 20 million, and then Newcastle have to take a proper look at it. A loan move is totally out of the question. I think Trippier on the pitch, off the pitch, has been integral. He creates so much. He looks after, and not Kieran Trippier did have a bit of a touchy spell over the last couple of months, but I think he's been a great player. Now, on Kieran Trippier's side of things, looking at a Newcastle side, he is back closer to home and family, but is he also looking at it going, at the age of 33, will Newcastle get Europe? Can I go to Bayern Munich and maybe have a hand in winning a trophy or something over there, you know, before his legs do go? But I honestly saw Trippier as a man who would finish his career here. I thought I saw him as a player who would take a step back to a Livramento. That's why this one's slightly different, because you've got to say that for now till the end of the season, if Trippier did go, you'd hope that Livramento would have it on lockdown, or would be certainly a good replacement. But I just can't see it. I really can't see it. There's not enough time to go. I think Eddie Howe will be fighting tooth and nail to keep this guy. You know, where are we? You know, to sell a player for not, we bought him for 15. He's 33 years old. I just can't see us getting enough money out of it that would be enough for Newcastle to consider it. But would selling a player be the key to Newcastle getting something over the line this January window? And that's what it all comes down to. As I've mentioned, Darren Eales has gone out there. He's done a few things with that interview. You know, he's kept the fans, the media off Eddie Howe's back. He's turned everything against FFP. He's also notified clubs that we are looking to sell. And is that exactly what he's after? One of these players discussed today, could one of them go? Let me know down below if there was one of them to go. Who would you like it? Or who would you like any of them to go? Or who would be the lesser evil of the players mentioned today? Telegraph reporting that the man, or the newest person on Newcastle's list, is Onana. Yeah, what's his name? From Everton. Now, it's known that Everton are likely looking to try and cash in a player or two of theirs with everything that's going on with them behind closed doors and FFP. The question is, though, yes, Everton will probably want to sell him. Yes, Everton could well let him go for maybe less than what he would be worth to help with their own financial issues. But we can't pay a 6 million loan fee for Calvin Phillips. Never mind go out and buy a totally different player. It's a player that I think is decent, would certainly bring something extra to the Newcastle squad. If anything, more manpower to the squad. That's the thing with the reports coming out on really any player that we're being linked with. It's all captioned with that little asterisk which says FFP dependent. And I guess that's what it's coming down to. We've just been linked with a whole host of players potentially going this January window. New links coming out for players we are being linked with to bring in this window. But one can't seem to happen without the other. And that is going to be the task for Newcastle this January window. Let me know your thoughts down below on the players linked to leaving. As I've mentioned, if there was a question out there, you know, would you let any of them go? If it was between Trippier, Lascelles, Joe Linton, you know what you're going to do. And is it worth to sell one of those players to bring someone in for a midfield position that we are desperate to see some reinforcements? We will have to wait and see what happens next in this roller coaster ride of Newcastle United. Drop a like, subscribe, do not miss out on any future videos. No doubt there will be plenty to talk about. Thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.